are listening to chartingwealth.com for Monday, the 20th of April, 2015. We are looking at how the market ended up on Friday, and it was not pretty. You can see right here, this is the total market, IYY. We like to use that fund just because it's an easy one to follow everything that's going on in the market, all the stocks. And what do we see happen? You see that red candle going down on the 2-day? That is a down day. Here was our beautiful trend line going up, our crossover on the 14th right here. And look what happened today. It was options expiration Friday. This is a day that for the last 14 of 18 years, according to our good friends at the Stock Traders Almanac, they have seen uptrends every year for the last 14 out of 18, but for today. A bad day. Hopefully, as we had talked about, these last 8 days you rode the market up, and as we kept saying, take your profits when you have them. Well, let's look at what happened. Ooh, that's bad. You can see all the way back on the 6th, we've been talking about it since then, and we saw a crossover on the MACD. We already had positive on the derivative oscillator, and we saw the market tick up, pull back a little bit, tick up again, pull back a little bit. Never got out here because it never crossed over going down. Pulled on up, and then we talked about, hey guys, when you have two pullbacks and you have the market continue to move up, at some point it is time to take your profits. Well, we have penetrated the 2-day trend line, and we have crossed over going down and going down strong. It's not crossed the 50 period, which would be the 25-day moving average, but you see a strong move down. Now, here's some hope, though. If you were in this bloodbath, look at the 2-day chart. Now, the 2-day chart is, you can see right here, the 2-day chart is not crossed over going down. You still have an up on the derivative oscillator, and you don't have a crossover on the MACD. You do have some significant down movement, but look at how much the bulls pushed it back up. Let's go back to our overall 4-hour chart. Yeah, you can see right here how the bulls continued to push it up and push it up. It wasn't as bad as it could have been, but it was pretty bad today. Significantly down from what? Yesterday at 106.50 and down, ending the day at 105.29. So, you know, $1.20 down on the IYY. That's telling us a total down of 1.04%. Now, let's go back to the 2-day chart, and let's go over to the SPY and see what we saw here. It looks very similar. We had 4 good, these are 2-day candles, so 8 days of good up movement. Again, not as bad as it could have been. Don't have a crossover here. It was a strong enough trend. You don't have a crossover yet on the 2-day chart, even with what happened. And on the SPY, that was a 1.17% decrease today. And you can see where the derivative oscillator moved over some. Now, let's look at the 4-hour chart and see what we see. Well, again, significant push down, breaking our 2-day. That is our 2-day trend line. So, again, significant down movement. Hopefully, as we've talked about since the 6th, you have taken your profit somewhere along the way, whether it was here or it was over the last few days here before this occurred. And the one thing that we talked about, and that is worth repeating, when you see the market struggle around and digest and then not move up significantly higher, that's something always to pay attention to. Okay, now let's move back to the 2-day and let's break out on the Qs. And we see the Qs, as we talked about, if you recall yesterday, the Qs never broke going up. It was just getting ready, it looked like, with the crossing over. But the Qs had, if we go back on the 4-hour chart, you can see how the Qs had stalled and stalled and stalled. The Qs never, even through Thursday, the Qs had never pushed up above, even close to where it had been back on the 13th. That is always a problem. You could see where the derivative oscillator was just petering off. And look at where it was yesterday before it rolled over going down. Now again, we don't use the derivative oscillator for everything, but if you recall also we talked about how we saw a convergence going on here yesterday. And this is before the drop off this morning. Convergence means these lines were coming together. So they were coming together as there was a weakening in the derivative oscillator. That's always a sign to watch out. And we keep talking about take profits when you have profits. This is when you had profits. When it started to move off here and went back up, digesting, never had enough energy to push on through. Although this was options expiration Friday, a lot of things happen when there's a lot of potential for volatility, up and down. So let's go back. Last thing we'll look at is gold. Now, what do you think gold would do on a day like this? Well, gold tried. I think it's up 0.49%, so about 0.5%. Gold continues. It's moving through the 50-period moving average. It is in an uptrend on the 2-day chart. You can see it. Derivative oscillator slackening off. Why? Well, there's no energy there. Look at what gold's been doing. It's been in a holding pattern, heck, all the way since the 6th. And it's just hanging here. The bulls and the bears just can't do much with it at all. Now, if you look at what the 2-day chart is telling you, it is showing you that it is, just sort of continuing stagnate. Has moved up a little bit. Is it going to take back off again? Well, the direction doesn't have a lot of positiveness to it just because it's so weak. Derivative oscillators falling off. Now let's go see if the 4-hour chart tells us any more. Well, the 4-hour chart is trying to cross over going up. It's not done it yet. We'd like to see some confirmation on Monday that indeed there's a crossover going up, that it does penetrate. You already have the derivative oscillator trying to lead the way, but is it going to get stuck right here? Is it going to get stuck on this 30 and 34 period moving linear regression line? Let's take a look at that and just see. Let's keep watching it on gold. But a tough day in the market, a lot of good up moves over the last many days. Hopefully, if you were in, you made your money and you took your money out after you made good climbs. Or if you did have a day where it turned over and rolled down some, you still were up enough that you still have profits in the market. And again, if you are still in any of those indexes, please keep in mind that you don't have a crossover yet on the 2-day chart going down. Continue to watch what happens. See how the week starts up on Monday. And also be sure to listen to our week review and forecast. I'm going to record that here after doing a little bit more studying, so it'll also be ready for you for the new week. Thanks so much for listening to us. We always appreciate you joining us here on chartingwealth.com. Hope that you have a great trading week.